Good afternoon, good morning, hello, how are you? It's Miss Salvatore here. I wanted to record a special vocabulary lesson because I heard that there is a special unit and some vocabulary words about financial literacy, what it means to save money, what it means to deposit money when you have a bank account, ways that you can take out or withdraw money. So I just wanted to go over some key terms to help you, provide you some pictures, and then also offer a chance for you to practice to test yourself and see if you know what that means. So let's go ahead and dive in to some vocabulary. Okay, some finance or financial literacy vocabulary that we need to know. So there is lots of different types of money that is used in different places, different countries. So as you can see, some of the dollars or the paper money that we use, this is called currency. Currency is how you pay for something, what it looks like in a certain place. So to warm up your brain, let's see if you can find what we would use today in the United States if we were going to the store, maybe to buy a bag of chips. Where is the American or the United States of America, the dollar bill? Okay, yep. And here it is in case you didn't find it. So I am going to show you some pictures, and then next I want you to see if you can figure out what it means. Okay, we're gonna look at the following pictures, try to talk about what's happening, go over those vocabulary words, and then put them into practice and see if we can solve some math, financial literacy word problems. So here is our first one. I want you to look at the picture and see if you can talk out loud, think in your head, what is happening in this picture? So I see some money and I see what looks like a computer. If you know anything about banking, okay, there are usually two terms you need to know, okay? So I had my fake money here, but it seems to have disappeared. Okay, when we have money, we usually do two things with it. We usually put it in the bank or we deposit it and we keep it there so it's usually safe. And then until we need it again, we either go into the bank or we go to a machine that looks like this and we withdraw. We take money out. We take the money out that we need or the amount that we want to take out of the bank. Okay, so your two choices in here. Can somebody think of a sentence? What is happening? Can we use the word withdraw or deposit? Okay. Oops, sorry, guys. Okay, here is a great sentence to go with the picture. This person is withdrawing money from an ATM. They forgot the period though. All right, that is a complete sentence, so we need to put our period at the end. But this person went to the bank, they swiped the card, put in their information, their PIN, and they asked for a certain amount back. That is called withdrawing, okay, or a withdrawal. Taking money out and then you have it, okay? Let's try the next one. Let's look at this picture and see if you can tell me about who this might be, what they are doing, and what does it look like is happening in this picture. You can think about it, or you can say it out loud. And again, there is no one right answer for these. These are just some examples. Okay, the bank teller, the person that works at the bank, is counting the money and giving it to the customer. So what that probably means is Instead of going to the ATM, which is that computer that we just saw to take out money, this customer, who is the one that owns the bank account, went into the bank, asked to withdraw money from their own personal account. And it's the same way that we take out money, but you can either go into the bank or you can go to what's called an ATM to take that money out. So the bank teller is counting the money and giving it to the customer. What has the customer done? The customer withdrew, right? Or is withdrawing money from their bank account. Okay, so again, we're still thinking and using the withdrawal and the deposit vocabulary. Let's go to the next one. Now, most of us might start out with our own personal bank account that looks like this when we are very young. It's a piggy bank. And what is a little child doing? Talk about it, think about it. So it looks like he's putting in money to his personal bank, right? We call that not withdrawing because he's not shaking it and trying to get the money out. He's putting the money in, okay? He's trying to save it for something. That can also be called a deposit. A deposit is when you take money and you put it in a safe place to collect, so you don't have it to spend all the time. So he is depositing his quarter into his piggy bank, okay? Or he is collecting it, he is saving it. So here's a sentence that we could use. He's saving money by putting it in a piggy bank. He's also depositing money into his piggy bank. Maybe when it gets full or he gets a little bit older, he can take that money from his piggy bank and open what we call a savings or checking account. He's putting money into his piggy bank, and that is called a deposit. Okay. Now when you go... All types of interruptions today. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so when you go out to eat, and there's usually a service, this is what we call what we leave for the person providing the service that maybe brought us our food, brought us something to drink, okay? Maybe ran an errand for us. Does anybody know what that is called? That is called a tip, okay? So usually if someone is doing a service, like is there a waitress or a waiter, they make money off of tips. And a tip is an amount of money that you give someone for doing something, right? Because it's a real treat for someone to bring you your food or to make you your food. So because they're bringing it right to you and you're usually out, that is a service, and we usually tip them. So a good sentence for this picture is the person is leaving. If they're the customer, they're leaving it. And if they are the waiter or waitress, they're taking the tip, right? If they're out at a restaurant. We'll do one more. So this is just a fun one to kind of think about. A lot of people now do not carry an amount of cash on them. They have what looks like this on the screen here in gold or here in blue. And those are cards that store your personal information with how much money that you have saved in a bank or a line of credit that you have. So these are credit cards or debit cards, okay? Unfortunately, it's not free money. I used to think when I was a kid, it was like, you just swipe it and it's free money, but it's not. So usually your debit card is linked to your bank account, okay? So a job that you do and you deposit the money that you make from that job, that total amount stays in your account, okay? Every time you swipe the card, it's withdrawing that amount. So whether you go to the store and you buy a sandwich, you swipe your debit card, that is a withdrawal, right? You're taking money. If it comes to $5 for a sandwich and you use a debit card, that's minus $5 that you use to purchase that sandwich that is coming off of your account, okay? The same would go for a credit card, okay? So what kind of sentence could we come up with for picture 1? What is happening with the credit or debit card? And then also think about this picture. Why would somebody cut up a credit card? See if you can think of some of our vocabulary words if we're focusing on deposit and withdrawal. So right here in picture 1, this is swiping the credit card or charging the card. Okay, again, you're charging it, but it's still coming from an account that you own, that you contribute or deposit money or funds to. So it's not free money when you charge something. And when people swipe the card, you might hear something that the credit card was denied. It could be over the limit, okay? That's because if you start out with, let's say, $25, okay? We'll say $25. All of you have $25 on a debit card. That is yours. It is linked to your bank account. Let's do some math. You have $25. You go to the store and you buy a bottle of water that costs $2. So we are withdrawing $2 from our amount of $25 that we had. Somebody tell me how much we have now. $25 minus $2 leaves us with $23, okay? Okay, that night, someone calls and says, hey, do you want to go to the movies? The movie theaters are open. There's a new movie. Do you want to go? You say yes. You know that you have $23 on your debit card. Okay, we're going to the movies. A movie ticket costs, let's just say, $10. Okay, so we're going to withdraw or take away that $10 from our balance. So we have 23 minus 10 gives us $13. Who goes to the movies and doesn't eat some snacks? So we have our movie ticket. We go up to the snack stand and you buy a barrel of popcorn for $10 and a thing of a pack of M&Ms for $5. Okay, so 10 plus 5 is 15. I had 13. If I go ahead and try to swipe that card and I had $13 and my total of the transaction that I was trying to make was 15, it's going to leave me with a negative amount. I don't have $15. So that card may deny or decline because it's over the amount that I have, okay? The balance on my card was $15 that I had left. I'm sorry, $13. And I tried to withdraw 15, but I didn't have enough money, okay? So we really have to pay attention to our balances, okay? Whether you have an amount of money in your wallet, you always want to know how much you have, okay? In case you pay for something or something goes missing, you want to know. You always want to know what your balance is, okay? Whether it's a card, cash, in your piggy bank, we always want to know our balance. And there's usually two things that we do with money or credit cards or debit cards. We either deposit money, we put money into the bank, it links to the cards, or we withdraw, we take it out. So The same thing would go for if I had that $25 on my card and I want to go to the ATM, I can swipe it and withdraw $25. And then I have $25 in cash and I can do the same thing. I can buy the same things. It all means the same thing, okay? Whether you have a debit card, credit card, if you're withdrawing or depositing, okay? And the last thing I think we talked about a little bit was our savings and checking account. So when you're ready to move from your piggy bank, okay, and you're old enough, someone takes you to the bank, you can open what's called a savings account, and you just go and put your money into the bank, and you have to keep track of that balance, like I said. And they also send you statements to give you your balance, and it tracks all of your deposits and all of your withdrawals, okay? The last thing I want to talk to you about is when you have a savings or checking account or amount of money. It could even go for loans, which you'll learn about later on. But there is something called interest. So that is like saying, I ask my mom, can I borrow $10? I really want to go out with my friends tonight. We want to go to the movies, right? And she'll say, well, are you going to pay me back? You know, if it's taking a long time, you know, your mom might joke, oh, I'm going to charge you interest. Interest is when an amount of money sits in a bank and collects interest. If you just leave it there, it might collect what's called interest. And it's just a small amount of money that, as long as your amount of money is sitting there, they might send you, you know, 1/100th of a cent every year. Okay, but if you let it sit, you might collect some interest. You might make some extra money for letting the bank hold on to that amount of money. The same goes for if you have a credit card. When you're charging something that technically isn't coming from your bank account, it's a line of credit, your purchases have an interest rate attached to it. So if I have a credit card and my interest rate is 10%, if I go buy a $10 movie ticket and I charge it, 10% of $10 is $1. So at the very end, I actually had to pay interest on the movie ticket, which is $1. So I really paid $11 for that movie ticket. Okay, so just things to keep in mind. But hopefully this might have been helpful. You learned about withdrawal, deposit, interest rates, savings accounts, checking accounts. I will touch more on that in the next video. And balance. Always know what your balance is in your wallet, in your piggy bank, on your credit card, debit cards, any of the such. Okay, these are super, super important. So just a quick recap. I hope you learned something today. I hope this is more clear. If it is not, please reach out to me and I will invite you to some office hours and we can go over some vocabulary and apply it to some word problems that are coming up for your math class. All right. I hope you had a great time and I will see you next time.